Well, this is lecture 9 of Basic Calculus 1. So, recall that in the last lecture we had talked about limits of functions at infinity. So, which means you have a function f of x which is defined at least on one interval of the type a to infinity, then you can talk of limit x goes to infinity of f of x. Similarly, when you have the interval minus infinity to b on which f of x is at least defined, then you can talk of limit of f of x, x goes to minus infinity. So, the basic idea was there that on a neighborhood of infinity is of the form a to infinity, open interval a to infinity. Similarly, a neighborhood of minus infinity is an interval of the type minus infinity to b open. So, we will explore that idea, but we will be talking today about infinite limits, that is when the limit of the function will be equal to infinity. So, as you guess, the function must be growing, that is become unbounded, it cannot remain near a real number and it surpasses all real numbers, so to say. Okay. So, we will talk about it soon. Let us look for this. Say you have a function f of x which contains an interval of the form c to b, where c is some real number, b is another real number. So, that of course, c must be less than b. So, in this case you may think of this c be something as a neighborhood or which contains a neighborhood of the form c to c plus delta for some delta. So, in that case you can think of right side limit at c. So, we say limit x goes to c plus f of x. Now, we are talking about that. Now, this limit will be equal to infinity, that means it would grow to infinity or becomes unbounded, surpasses all real numbers, positive real numbers. So, we will say limit of f x goes to c plus is infinity. So, infinity is not a real number, that is why we are not able to use the earlier definition, we have to really redefine. So, this means if you have some m, a real number m which is bigger than 0, then you can choose your x near c in such a way that f of x should be bigger than m. That is how this unboundedness idea is exposed. So, that is what we will write, but which neighborhood, since it is x goes to c plus, that is only from the right side limit, we would limit our search for x inside an interval of the form c to c plus delta. So, you would define this way, corresponding to each m greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that if you take any x between c to c plus delta, then f of x must be bigger than m. So, in that case we would say limit f of x, x goes to c plus is equal to infinity. So, again it is just a symbol equal to infinity, infinity is not a number. So, this limit equal to infinity is only a symbol which gives the idea that function becomes increasing, surpasses almost all real numbers. It is very informally that way. Actually, what it tells is this definition, that for any m bigger than 0, you will find one x near c and to the right of c whose value will be bigger than m. So, that is what we would say informally, that limit f x equal to infinity, if x decreases to c because it is from the right side, f x increases to infinity without bound. So, you can stop somewhere, it still there are bigger values than any value. That is what the idea of the limit x goes to c plus equal to infinity means. Similarly, when you define limit f x equal to infinity when x goes to c minus, that means there is a left neighborhood of c contained inside the domain of definition of f. So, you should have first of all f x contains an the domain of f x contains an open interval of the form a to c, left side neighborhood. In that case, we would say that this limit equal to infinity if it surpasses again any m. So, corresponding to each m greater than 0, there exists a positive delta such that if x is any number between c minus delta to c, then its corresponding functional value f of x will be larger than m. So, again informally we would say that limit f x goes to c minus is infinity if x as x increases to c, f of x increases without bound to infinity. So, these are all the possibilities when limit is equal to infinity. Similar things happen when the limit can be equal to minus infinity. So, in that case, instead of f x is bigger than m, we would take f x is smaller than minus m. That is the only change that would give limit equal to minus infinity. So, let us reformulate again. Okay. Before that, we should give a comment that when you say that limit of x goes to c, as earlier we will be taking x goes to c minus, x goes to c plus, both of them are same. So, in this case both of them should be infinity, then you say this. But we should remember always that this limit f of x goes to c will be defined only when there is one open interval of the type say a to b around c, that is c must belong to this, and domain of f must include such an interval. So, that on both the sides you have a neighborhood. This is actually a neighborhood of c. Of course, at c we do not need to define. So, all that we need that function should be well defined on an open interval around c and the deleted neighborhood c we do not require is to be defined. If it is defined, fine, but it is not required. So, such an interval, that is c to b or say a to c union c to b should be inside the domain of definition of function f. Then only we can talk of limit x goes to c, and that is equal to infinity if both these limits are equal to infinity. Okay. So, let us go to minus infinity as we thought. So, let the domain of f x contain an open interval of the form c to b. Again we are talking about c to b. So, it is the right side neighborhood. So, we will be thinking of limit x goes to c plus. We say that limit f of x goes to c plus is minus infinity if corresponding to any m bigger than 0, any positive m, there we will find one delta greater than 0, such that if x is any number between c to c plus delta, because it is c plus, what we have is f of x must be less than minus m. It will be decreasing to minus infinity without any bound. So, again informally we would say this limit equal to minus infinity if and only if as x decreases to c, f of x decreases without bound to minus infinity. Now, for x goes to minus c, a similar thing happens, but now we will require one neighborhood c minus delta to c. So, domain of f must contain an open interval of the type a to c. So, in this case we would say that for any m greater than 0, there exists a positive delta such that if x belongs to any this open interval c minus delta to c, then f of x must be smaller than minus m. So, again informally we would say that this limit equal to minus infinity if whenever x increases to c, f of x decreases without bound to minus infinity. It is increasing because it is on the left side neighborhood. So, these are about limit equal to infinity, limit equal to minus infinity at a point which is a real number, say c. So, again both the limits we can combine and we say limit x goes to c of f x equal to minus infinity if both the limits, left side limit, right side limit are equal to minus infinity. So, in that case again we should have one neighborhood around c which is contained in the domain of definition of f, of course the deleted neighborhood, that is of the type say a to c union c to b. Such an open interval should be a subset of the domain of f. In that case only we can talk of limit of x goes to c f of x. Okay. So, these are about a point which is a real number. Around that we are finding the limit, and the limit can become equal to infinity or minus infinity. That is why they are called infinite limits. But it can so well happen that we can combine both the things, talk about limit at infinity becoming equal to infinity, right. So, that means you should consider also infinite limits at infinity and at minus infinity. So, let us consider first at infinity. Again our idea of the neighborhoods of infinity will be carrying through our definition here. So, we are talking about limit at infinity. So, let us say limit x goes to infinity, f of x equal to infinity. When does it happen? So, that means the neighborhood of infinity now, as earlier neighborhood of C we are taking, it is x goes to infinity. So, it is only left side limit to infinity. Imagining infinity as a point there, it is a left side limit. So, in that case, what will happen? First of all, we should have a neighborhood of infinity from the left side neighborhood that should be contained inside the domain of definition of f. So, that gives rise to formally that an interval of the type a to infinity must be a subset of the domain of f. So, that function is defined over such an interval. Then we will say limit of f x equal to infinity if and only if correspond to each m greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that for every x with x belonging to neighborhood of infinity, that is x is bigger than delta now, what should we have? F of x should be bigger than that m. So, that it is in the neighborhood of infinity on the other side. So, that is what we write, corresponding to each m greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that for every x with x greater than delta, we have f of x is bigger than m. If such a thing is satisfied, then we would say limit x goes to infinity equal to infinity. So, again informally you can say that as x increases without bound to infinity, f of x also increases without bound to infinity. So, now you can think of the other side limit, that x goes to infinity, f x equal to infinity if and only if you can think of the substitution 1 by x. So, f of 1 by x equal to infinity, but this is only increasing. So, you say x goes to 0 plus, it is reverses, right. When it is going to infinity, 1 by x will be decreasing to 0. So, limit x goes to 0 plus f of 1 by x must be equal to infinity. So, sometimes this substitution helps, because at infinity we may not be able to imagine correctly, but 0 can be easier, but depends on the problem, right. So, we will see. So, next we will be talking about limit x goes to infinity when it is equal to minus infinity. So, obviously informally it should say that this is equal to minus infinity if x increases without bound to infinity, then f of x should be decreasing without bound to minus infinity. That is what we want to formalize. Well, so formalization will be as earlier, if you take any m bigger than 0, our f x should be less than minus m. But for which x? For all those x which are greater than delta, for some delta. So, you would say that correspond to each m bigger than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that if you take any x which is bigger than this delta, right, x goes to infinity, x is bigger than delta, then f of x should be less than that minus m, so that it decreases to minus infinity. So, these are all, you need not really mock them up, they can be just obtained from our usual definition by remembering the neighborhood concept of infinity and minus infinity, as we have discussed earlier. So, this is about limit as x goes to infinity when they become infinity or when they become minus infinity. So, similarly, we have something where limit x goes to minus infinity of f x becomes either infinity or minus infinity. So, let us consider those two cases also. So, what happens there? We want limit at minus infinity, but infinite limits. So, the limits can be equal to infinity or minus infinity. So, how to define those cases? When you say limit x goes to minus infinity, we should have some interval of the type minus infinity to a inside the domain of f, then only we can define it. Okay, assume that happens for this function f, then we say that limit of f(x) equal to infinity as x goes to minus infinity when if corresponding to each m greater than 0, our f of x should be bigger than m. For which x? For all those x which are in the neighborhood of minus infinity, that is x is less than minus delta for some delta. So, the formal definition would look like this: corresponding to each m bigger than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that for each x with x less than delta or minus delta, because it is negative minus infinity. So, for each x with x less than minus delta, we have f of x is bigger than m. Again, informally you would say that this happens when x decreases without bound to minus infinity, f of x increases without bound to infinity. Okay. So, these are all the cases from playing with infinity minus infinity. We have one more case, that when limit of f x equal to minus infinity for x going to minus infinity. Okay. So, in that case we should again have minus infinity to a to be contained inside domain of f for some a, and then we would say that limit x goes to minus infinity of f x is minus infinity if corresponding to each m bigger than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that for every x with x less than minus delta, its corresponding value f of x should be less than minus m. Both are now minus. So, again if you want to substitute, you can substitute this way: x goes to 0 minus f of 1 by x equal to minus infinity. That will be the substitution. Informally it would say as x decreases without bound to minus infinity, its functional value also decreases without bound to minus infinity. Okay. So, these are all the notions connected with limits at infinity and limit becoming infinity. We should see some examples how these are the cases which are really clumsier a bit when both the things are infinity, x as well as f x, its limit. Okay, let us see an example first. Suppose we have a polynomial p of x which looks like a0 plus a1 x plus up to nth degree. So, a n x to the power n. Since it is of degree n, we are telling, so we will say a n is not equal to 0. If a n equal to 0, its degree can become smaller. So, we say that p x is a polynomial of degree n, and suppose I choose a number which is b, that is bigger than 1, it will be coming up why we choose this b. Okay. So, the first problem says that find the limit of p x divided by x to the power n. That is pretty easier, we just divide x to the power n throughout. So, you get a0 by x to the power n, a1 by x to the power n minus 1, a n minus 1 by x plus a n, x n gets cancelled there completely. So, as x goes to infinity, 1 by x goes to 0. So, this a0 by x n goes to 0, this also goes to 0, everything goes to 0 except the last term. Therefore, you get limit p x by x to the power n equal to n. So, a formal justification will be required. So, that can be done by coming from when x goes to infinity, 1 by x goes to 0, that we have seen already, limit at infinity. So, this is how it will proceed. X goes to infinity, p x by x to the power n will be a n. We will go to the next problem. It asks about finding limit of p x as x goes to infinity, p x itself, not p x by x to the power n. So, again we have since computed p x by x to the power n, we can use that. That says you can break it into this provided both the limits exist. We know this one, only the right one we do not know, but it is not existence of limit now. What it says, limit of x tends to infinity p x by x to the power n is something which is non-zero. So, when you multiply that with something which is growing very to infinity unbounded, then that number multiplied by that unbounded thing will become again unbounded the same way. So, suppose a n is bigger than 0, then this limit will be a n and something which is bigger than m in our definition. So, that becomes again bigger than m, right? Not exactly. So, we can choose m divided by a n first, it is bigger than m divided by n, then next one a n will cancel, it will be bigger than m. That is how formal definition will come. For given any m, you first think of m divided by a n. suppose a n is positive. So, m divided by a n is positive. Then there exists a delta such that whenever x is bigger than this delta, we have f of x bigger than m divided by a n, right. So, now that will be multiplied with a n, that will say for all those x we have p of x is bigger than m, therefore, it will be infinity. So, we write that in a shorter form a n times infinity. This does not make any sense really, its formal sense comes from the definition. So, that gives us a n times infinity, what we write informally, which will be really infinity, provided a n is bigger than 0. Similarly, if a n is negative, then we choose one m positive and consider m divided by minus a n, because a n is negative, that is again positive. So, you have it goes to minus infinity, provided you have a delta greater than 0. So, that if x is bigger than delta, this is less than m divided by minus of minus n. So, m divided by a n, again a n is multiplied. So, that makes f of x less than minus n. So, then it will be minus infinity. So, which we write a n times minus infinity or minus a n times infinity if a n is positive. So, in this case a negative number times some positive m, that will give you minus m. So, that means formally it will be, we will be writing informally a n times infinity, where a n is negative is really minus infinity, but that is really the sense for in the formal way. Okay. So, that means limit of x goes to infinity of p x is equal to infinity if its leading coefficient is bigger than 0, it is minus infinity if its leading coefficient is smaller than 0. So, it almost behaves like its leading term, that is what we say, right, but only in sign. Answer is infinity anyway, either plus or minus. Let us go to next problem. Here in this example, we will find the infinite limits, that is when the limit become infinite, and limits at infinity of this function f of x. So, all the 4 things are there, when limits become infinite, when limits at the infinity. So, the function is given as f x equal to x plus 3 divided by x plus 2. It will be convenient to rewrite it, we will write it as this way, it is correct, x plus 2 plus 1 is x plus 3 on the numerator. So, f of x is 1 plus 1 divided by x plus 2. First, let us find limits at infinity. So, if you take limits at infinity, that will be pretty easier here, because it would say 1 divided by x plus 2 and x goes to infinity, that becomes 0. So, answer should be 1. Even minus infinity, same thing, right. And when the limit becomes infinity, as we feel that if x is closer to minus 2, then this expression becomes closer to 0, x plus 2. So, 1 divided by x plus 2 will be increasing or decreasing without bound to infinity or minus infinity, right. So, suppose I take x is smaller than minus 2, okay. X is now smaller than minus 2. So, what will happen to x plus 2? X plus 2 will be smaller than 0, it is negative, x plus 2 is negative. So, when you take 1 divided by x plus 2, that should go to minus infinity, right. It is like 1 by 1 minus x is positive. So, this limit when x goes to minus 2 from the negative side, from the left side, it becomes minus infinity. This one really does not matter, because it is already minus infinity, that gets absorbed. Now, when you take x is bigger than minus 2, so x is bigger than minus 2, that gives x plus 2 is positive. So, 1 by x plus 2 goes to positive plus infinity, then this one gets absorbed. So, you get limit x goes to minus 2 plus is infinity. And if you take any other point c, that is it is not minus 2, then this remains bounded, okay. So, it is never plus or minus infinity as x approaches c. It of course exists because it is a rational function, and at minus 2 only it can blow up, everywhere else it is a real number. So, if you take any other point, any point c other than minus 2, it will have some limit, not plus or minus infinity. And as we told, if x equal to minus 2, only point where it is plus or infinity. Next, when you go to infinity, that we commented f x will be equal to 1. In fact, x equal to minus infinity are also 1. Its plot looks like this. This is the function x plus 3 divided by x plus 2 on both the sides. Now, x equal to minus 2 gives this line. So, what it says, at x approaches minus 2 from the left side. So, this one is appropriate now, minus 2, it goes to minus infinity, that is what it is seen from the picture, and it is minus 2 from the positive side, that goes to infinity. So, sometimes this line is called an asymptote also. Anyway, we are not going to do that. Now, when you take limit f x x goes to infinity equal to 1, what does that mean here in the graph? That y becomes 1 when x goes to infinity. So, when x increases to infinity, y is remaining near 1. So, y equal to 1 is also an asymptote here. Similarly, on the other side, limit x goes to minus infinity also y equal to 1. So, this side also it reaches as if it is touching at infinity, y equal to 1 line touching at infinity. Similarly, here, that is what is plotted in the picture.